Hello, I am Simon the Bubbleologist, and I create magic out of bubbles. My name is Simon Fortune, and I'm a bubbleologist. What is a bubbleologist? Well, it's somebody who loves bubbles, who plays with bubbles, who brings them to life through magic, storytelling and entertainment. And those bubbles for me represent so much. They represent my wishes, they represent how beautiful life is and how fleeting it is. And bubbles are, for me, bubbles are beautiful orbs that float in the air and set alight our imagination and bring a little bit of magic to our lives. It doesn't matter whether or not you're 1 or 100, it's still that glimmer of a moment that is captured and becomes very much alive. So the reason I love playing with bubbles and working with them is because I was drawn to them and they drew me to them. And I feel like there's some sense of truth and life in bubbles. It really connects to the innocence and purity that life is. When I come in the room at a children's party, I just see children's faces come alight, and in a way I come alight when I'm with children. I've never really understood the adult world. When I set up my bubble equipment, there's like an air of anticipation in the room, awaiting me to pour the bubble juice into the various buckets and containers, and then setting up the lights, and the magic begins with the music and the first bubble, and that sense of pause and wonder that begins from the beginning of my show to the finale, when my smoke machine with bubbles fill the room. So my favourite moment is when I do a kid in a bubble, and the anticipation of a child standing wondering what's going to happen in the middle of a moat. And as I pull the wand up over their head, there's a gasp that goes out amongst the audience, seeing a child enveloped completely in a bubble. And that's what's so amazing about bubbles, that they very much represent who we are, our flexibility, our ability to share with one another. And I think that's the most important thing that children learn in play, to be able to imagine and create and to share. And that's what bubbles for me represent. So I do shows in care homes, bubble therapy, and these are about using the sensorial aspects of bubbles, using the visual aspects so that elderly can really have a really meaningful sense of connection with the bubbles and with one another, and going into a place of innocence and love. I also do children's parties, and I'm available to do kid in a bubble and smoke bubbles. I do bubble sculptures, have a bubble table, and at the very end of the party, the birthday child gets to go in the middle of a bubble. And it's like the summit of the party, because my bubbles are very magical and they create wishes. Our wishes are very fragile, just like those bubbles. But when we give them love and we nourish them, then that's when our wishes and our dreams and what we really love manifests.